Alright everybody, it's me, Ollie, aka TNS Attitude, and I'm back here on YouTube.com for all things professional wrestling. Now today guys, I'm doing a hot topic video. It has been a little while since I've done a hot topic video, but the word on the street right now is Bray Wyatt is rumoured to be making his return to wrestling in some way. Now, we don't know where Bray Wyatt is going to be turning up. Now, let's just break this down. So, Bray got released by WWE last July. I think around the 31st of July, he got released. And everybody said, what a waste of such a huge star. The guy was just ridiculously talented, one of the more, very creative. And he made so many big things in WWE, and then he was gone. And I think, to be honest, it's like for the last year, people have been saying, well, where's he going to go? And of course, he was doing a horror movie, and his passions are in the horror genre. So of course, this guy is very creative outside of wrestling. So people. But in this last year, now we're starting to see some cryptic tweets from Bray. And of course, one thing that people have noticed is he's gone back to the name gone back as Wyatt on Twitter. It was Rotunda, Wyndham Rotunda, and now he's going by Wyatt. So actually, he's been tweeting it's almost time, and it's like that already indicates he's going to be making a return in some way. Where he goes, well, that will remain to be seen. But where I'm going to talk about it from my per se. I got to meet Bray, of course. I met Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, at WrestleCon this past April. Very humble, very, very nice guy. Appreciates his fans, And when I met him, and I even said to him, I was like, man, WWE wasted you. You are such a talented guy. And that's, if you can actually hear him say, I know, and he knows his money. He knows his value in any wrestling company that he was to go to. But here's where I think now, where we are, right? So Bray had such a great gimmick, this Mr. Rogers gimmick. It was so great. But would he go back to doing that? Well, I think The Fiend is a marketable entity. And I think that, WWE owns the trademark for The Fiend. So in all fairness, I think The Fiend would make a return if that was where they were to go, if he was to go back to WWE. I want him to go back to WWE, and there's a reason for this. So, people can say that WWE has been going through a huge roster, the roster is thin. All those budget cuts, all those releases made it where, the shows are thin. Hence why they've kind of ended the brand split, or that's what people have been saying recently, that the brand split is kind of not a thing now, and now we're seeing guys on both shows because they don't have the fat roster that they had in 2018, 2019. They don't have that roster anymore. All those guys have gone, and I think now it's become almost like the way WWE are trying to do their shows is they're trying to go down the less is more route. So they're filling out a stadium, well, they tried to, but obviously now they've had to move Money in the Bank to the MGM, but this is like where they brought Cody back, and I think Cody right now is the measuring stick, and in terms of a guy who a lot of people thought, well, if Cody's going back, is he gonna get that? Are they gonna treat him well, or is he gonna get buried? But so far, Cody is in one of the best spots currently in the company. He's right up there, and I think that Bray. We know Cody might have had some kind of. If Bray does go back to WWE, I do think that there could be some involvement there from Cody in terms of his involvement with Wyatt. And a lot of people, when Cody was working for AEW, people thought that Wyatt was going to go to AEW because of this. I just think in terms what I would like to see, where I think it's going to work better, Bray should go back to WWE, and it's because he would be treated as, his fanfare is there, he's popular. Going to AEW, I don't think it would work. I think he would get lost in the shuffle. AEW is, while I like AEW, I do feel that they have just got such a roster bloat right now that I just think Wyatt goes in there, he's just going to be another guy, and it's another guy on top of another guy, and it's just this pile of talent that not every single person is getting showcased, and that sadly is the case in AEW right now. You know, if I look at AEW and I'm, you know, when they keep snapping guys up and they keep hiring people, and while it's great that we're getting all these new signings, it's like, well, actually, you haven't got something to do for everybody. You don't have enough television. You don't have enough airtime to get every single guy and girl featured on your product. Hence why we've got Dark Elevation, we've got Dark, we've got Rampage, which they really need to increase now to 2 hours. You know, Rampage needs to be like SmackDown, basically. Make Rampage the second big show of the week. That should definitely be where they should be aiming for the fall of this year. And hopefully with this new Warner deal, Discovery Warner thing that they got going on, we should hopefully be seeing some increased, you know, time for their product. But I'm going off topic a little bit. But talking about Bray, he gets lost in the shuffle if he goes to AEW. If he goes to Impact, you know, not everybody's watching Impact. While Impact are doing great stuff, and I've watched a bit of Impact, it's not on the level of your WWE, your AEW. You know, they are just not there. They've got some good stuff going on, but it's not where, like, you know, AEW, WWE. So I think, in all fairness, right now, Wyatt's choice is if he goes back to WWE, they're going to treat him as that established character. Everybody knows where he's been. He can go back to being the Fiend. There's a lot of unfinished things going on over there. Obviously, Alexa's kind of changed now, and you know she's kind of going back to not being as she was. Fiend Alexa, you could call her, but I just think that in all fairness, this is where it's going. But yeah, you know, Wyatt goes back to WWE. He can feud with Cody. He can feud with Seth, Roman. You know, he becomes another guy for to sell their premium live events, as if that's where they're going with, you know. And I just think it's probably best for him. If he's got over this now, it's been a year, and he's, you know, had that time off, and he's been able to get his mental health a lot more, you know, recovered and stuff. I think that this is definitely where it should be. I think WWE is ideally where he should be ending up, where they were utilizing the most. If he goes to AEW, he's getting lost in the shuffle. There's just too many guys right there now. It's just got so bloated. And this is coming from somebody who loved AEW in the beginning. This is not an anti-AEW video, because I still watch AEW. I like AEW a lot, and you know, I enjoyed Double or Nothing, but I just feel that they are signing too many people. It's getting to a stage where there's just not enough breathing room for their roster, and what's going to happen is guys are just getting lost in the shuffle and then getting released, you know, or not even getting released. They're just getting their contracts aren't being extended. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if, like I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Bray Wyatt situation. Where do you want to see him end up? He might even end up at Hell in a Cell with the way it's going. But guys, that is today's video. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like. I'll see you next time, guys. I'm out.